Hey guys, this is Andrew with rockclass101.com. Today we're going to be learning episode 4 in our concept lesson series. So concept lessons basically are presenting lessons that help you in real life situations. So actually this episode I think is going to be a breakthrough for a lot of people. So when you go to a jam situation, you're oftentimes handed a chord sheet, like a song sheet. So it's got the chords and the lyrics on it. And you've got yourself plus 2-3 other people all playing that same song. Let's say that song sheet you get handed is 2 chords, just like this lesson. It's A minor to G. Most of the time people are going to be playing so you've got yourself plus 2 or 3 other people all playing that same part. Right? What does that do for the music? Well, it doesn't do much because you have everybody playing the same thing. So with this lesson, I'm going to teach you how to stand out. So you're going to be the one that's adding to the music. So your first question is, how will I be adding to the music? Well, with this lesson, I've written 5 themes. So each theme adds something unique to this chord progression. So we're only using those 2 chords, but every time we go through, we're adding different elements to make it more interesting. So we're going to learn how to make your rhythm playing stand out. So a few ways we'll be doing that is by adding a backbeat, a slap to our playing. We're also going to be looking at using different chords. So it's the same A minor and G, but by different chords, we're going to be voicing them higher on the neck. So we'll get a bit of a harmony added to what we're playing. We're also going to be throwing in simple little melodies and little phrases of solos, like little licks. So we'll be learning all of these things throughout all 5 themes to make your playing more interesting. And so you don't get so bored while you're playing as well, because after a while, this gets a little old, right? So that's everything we're going to be covering in this lesson. We're going to go through each theme and talk about what I did to make it stand out, and we'll go very slow and I'll explain everything to you guys. So basically this is part 1 of the lesson, and in part 1 we're going to learn the first half of the tune. So that's going to be the intro plus theme 1 and 2. If you guys want to learn the second half of the tune, which is theme 3, 4, and 5, we're going to be covering that in part 2 of the video lesson at rockclass101.com. You can also get the complete tabs there to print off and follow along with, plus access to the on-screen tab viewer, which is super cool. You can hit play, watch the tab scroll across in real time, highlight bars to loop sections, slow it down to any speed. Just a great way in learning this song that much quicker. So all of that again is at rockclass101.com. So let's go ahead and kick into this lesson. So we're going to start off with the intro. So think of the intro as just a cool way to start, and then we'll begin talking about ways to make the rhythm playing more interesting once we get into theme 1. Okay? So here's what our intro sounds like, and we'll break it down. And there's one important aspect of this intro we're going to cover too. So it sounds like this. Okay, so the important aspect I mentioned is that we have a bar of 2. So we've got a bar of 4 and then a bar of 2. So that's the kicker there. So let me go ahead and play it again and just count it out for you. So the first time, bar of 4, second one is a bar of 2. I'm starting on the end of 1. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and okay, again 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and okay. So that's the tricky thing, is that you have that bar of 2. So that's something that you just have to remember. So let's go ahead and start it. So it begins on the end of 1. So you're counting 3, 4, 1, end. So you're hitting on that end of 1. So that end of 1 is going to be on fret 5. So we're going to take our middle finger, put it on 5 on string 4, and our ring finger on 5 on string 2. So we're going to pluck both of those strings and slide up a whole step. So we're sliding 5 to 7. Okay? After I get there, I'm going to add my index to 5 on string 1. And I'm going to pluck strings 1 and 2. So I'm plucking 7 and 5. So I've got ba-dum-ba. Okay, so it's 3, 4, 1, and 2, and. So it's just eighth notes. I'm going to hold that second and first string out for a quarter though. So that one will sound like this if I count it. 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3. Okay? When you get to the end of 3, we're going to pluck those 7s again, so we can get rid of the index finger, and we're going to slide back to where we started, so 7 to 5. Okay, so let's check out all of that. So we have 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Okay, really slow without me counting. Okay, again. We can add a little vibrato on that second hit too. Ba-dum-ba. Up to you guys. Okay, after that, we're gonna lift our ring finger up, move that middle finger down a half step so it goes to 4 on string 4, and then add your index finger to 3 on string 2, and pluck those 2 strings. Okay, that finishes bar number 1. So if I play it all together, I have. So you can also think of it as a rhythm in your head. 3, 4, 1. Ba-da-da, da-da. Okay? Or you can count it. So either one works, but if you have never counted before, that's something I would work on, because timing is one of the 3 aspects of music, right? We have melody, harmony, and rhythm, our timing, right? So it's very important to not put an emphasis on where our fingers are and what notes we're supposed to play, but also an emphasis on timing. So again, 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. Okay? So the next part is going to go straight eighth notes, and this is our bar of 2. 1 and 2 and. Okay, so after I finish up here, I'm just going to lift everything up and just put my middle finger on 2nd fret of string 3, and I'm going to play open 2, 3rd string, open 2, open 4. Okay, so open 2, 3rd string, which is the 2nd fret, open 2, open 4. Now let's hear that in the context of the intro. 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and. Okay, again. 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and. Okay, now let's go ahead and slow it down. So we have 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. Ba-da-da-da. Right? O, 3, O, O. So just a bunch of open strings, really. Okay, super slow. 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and. So it gives us a cool little intro into the actual piece. So now we're going to kick off with theme 1, and let's talk a little bit about what I'm doing to make this rhythm more interesting. Alright, so in the beginning we talked about people will usually just play that basic A minor to that G. So the whole song is 2 bars of A minor, 2 bars of G. So instead of only playing that, the first idea we can do to make our rhythm more interesting is to add a backbeat or a slap. Now, if this is something new for you, check out this lesson that I wrote on how to add a backbeat to your rhythm playing, and that'll give you a nice introduction to this technique. So, in essence, all I'm going to be doing is, instead of going and now I'm going to be going. And you can hear just by doing that, it makes it way more interesting, right? We added one element to our playing, but by adding that one element, we made it so much more of a vibe, so much more of a feeling in our playing, so much more interesting, just by adding one little thing. Now the next thing that we're going to add for theme 1 is we're going to move that first chord. We're going to move it to a higher voicing. So that means that we're going to play A minor in a different position up the neck, and it's going to be higher pitched. So that does two things. The first thing is that it's going to sound a bit cooler because it's not that's a very basic plain A minor. We're going to play an A minor 7, has one extra note. It's a bit more color in it, and it sounds a bit more interesting. So that's the first thing that it does. The second thing it does is that it creates a movement. As I go from this higher A minor 7 to this G, I now have a movement. Higher to lower, higher to lower. You didn't hear a movement with the basic A minor to G because they're all in the same position. It's stagnant. It's like da, 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 da. But when we play the higher one to the lower one, we have a nice movement. It's beautiful. So now we added two elements to our playing, right? We added a higher voiced chord moving to the lower G, right? So we have movement, and we added a rhythm. We added the slap, right? So if I put those two together, this is what I get. I started out with very basic, and now I've got much cooler, right? All right, so let's actually break down how to play theme number 1. All right, so to make this A minor 7, take your middle finger, put it on string 3, fret 4, and then take your ring finger, put it on string 2, fret 5, and your index on string 1, fret 3. The G string will be open. So we've got O, 4, 5, 3. Okay, so there's our A minor 7. And we're going to that stock G chord. So quickly, that stock G is index on 2nd fret of string 3, ring finger on 3rd fret of string 2, and middle finger on 2nd fret of string 1. And again, the G is open. So those are the two chords. So quickly just practice A minor 7 to G. A great way to practice is to put it in a time frame like 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, so you're hitting half notes. So start slow and then increase that tempo once you get it clean, right? So you can work on building muscle memory of changing from the first chord to the second chord quicker. So again, let's kick in with that A minor 7. So go ahead and make the A minor 7. So here's the rhythm for bar 1. Okay. So I'm going to start with a strum as a quarter note. So I'm going to go strum, followed up by a slap, and then I'm going to pluck up. So I'm using all 4 fingers. Each finger gets its own string, thumb, index, middle, ring. So after I slap, I come up with a pluck. So I've got strum, slap, pluck. Okay, that's going to hold out. And then I'm going to hit string 1, followed up by a slap, and a pluck again. Okay, so again, if I call out that whole bar, I have strum, slap, pluck, 1 slap, pluck. So again, 3, 4. Strum, slap, pluck, 1 slap, pluck. Okay, if I call out the rhythm, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and if I call out the hits, strum, slap, pluck, 1 slap, pluck. Okay, so that's bar number 1. Now bar number 2 is identical, except we're leaving the last pluck out of the equation. So bar 2 is strum, slap, pluck, 1 slap, and it stops on that slap. So if I play bar 1 and 2 together, I have 3, 4, strum, slap, pluck, 1 slap, pluck, strum, slap, pluck, 1 slap. Okay? After that, I'm going to the G chord. So go ahead and make the G chord, and we're going to do the same rhythm as we did for bar 1 for this G. So here we go. 3, 4. Strum, slap, pluck. 1 slap, pluck. So identical rhythm there. Now bar 4 is going to start the same for the first half. So it goes strum, slap, pluck, and then it changes. So the second half of this bar is going to be a little fill lick. So after we do the first half, strum, slap, pluck, you hold that out, and then we're going to go to this lick. Ba, ba, da, da. So that lick's going to be index on 3 on string 2. You're going to play that note, and you're going to play it again, and do a hammer on. Ba, ba, dum. So I'm hammer on with the ring to fret 5. And then I'm dropping the index finger down to 3 on string 1, playing that note. So again, I have ba, ba, da, da. So if I put that bar together, I have strum, slap, pluck. Okay, again, strum, slap, pluck. Ba, ba, da, da. So now we've got all of theme 1 learned, but let's go ahead and just play the second half by itself. So we're just going to play the 2 bars of G, and then we're going to play all of theme 1. So starting on bar 3. So here we go, 3, 4. Okay, now if I start from the beginning, bar 1 through 4. So what do we see at the end of theme 1? We saw that ba ba da da, we saw that little melody lick, right? That's what we're about to start seeing in theme 2. So as we're building these themes in theme 2, now we're going to start to introduce melody to our rhythm playing. So that's the first thing that you're going to see that sticks out. So far we have done higher voice chords to create a movement. We have added a percussive hit, so we have a nice rhythm going, and now we're about to add melody in theme 2. So let's go ahead and play theme 2 and then break it down and learn it. Okay, so that's basically what theme 2 sounds like. So again, you can notice it starts off playing with that same A minor 7 to the G, so everything's based out of those 2 voicings of the chords, but now we're adding the melody to it. So let's break it down. So the first half is going to be the same. You have strum, slap, pluck, holds out, and then we add the little melody. Ba, da, da. So that melody is going to be playing string 4, string 2, string 1. So if I call it out, I have strum, slap, pluck, 4, 2, 1, and again, ready, go. Strum, slap, pluck, 4, 2, 1. The second bar is the same except we leave out the last hit. Strum, slap, pluck, 4, 2. So again, I have 3, 4. Strum, slap, pluck, 4, 2, 1. Strum, slap, pluck, 4, 2. Okay? Now I'm going to the G chord, and I'm going to do the same thing. I have strum, slap, pluck. Now I'm going to fill the second part, or the second half, with the melody. Okay? So this one's tricky, but I'm going to give you an easier way to play it too, if you don't like the way that I'm using. So again, start with the G. We have strum, slap, pluck. Now we're going to play string 3, and hammer on to 4 with our pinky. So you're hammering on to the same string, right? 2 to 4 on string 3. And then follow it up by playing string 4 open. So you can practice that a couple times. If you don't like the hammer on, or you feel like your pinky finger isn't strong enough, well, this 4th fret right here is the same as the open E string. So an alternative way to play this and make it easier would be to play it like this. Right, again. So all I can do is lift my ring finger up. So if I do the easy way, I have strum, slap, pluck, play string 3, lift the ring finger up, so play the open 2nd string, and then open 4. So I have strum, slap, pluck, 3, 2, 4, but don't forget to lift that up. So that's the easier way, but you miss out on that cool sound that a hammer-on gives you. So just throwing that out there. I would work on both ways, and it's a good exercise for increasing the strength in your pinky finger too. So again, the way that I'm playing, strum, slap, pluck, play string 3, hammer on with the pinky to fret 4, and then open 4. Okay? Now the second time through is going to be the same thing, except leave the last hit out. So we have strum, slap, pluck, ba-dum. And again, strum, slap, pluck, hammer, and stop. So the bar 3 and 4 for theme 2 sounds like this. Okay, and if I put all of that together for theme 2, so bars 1 through 4, I have this. Okay, so as we saw in theme 2, we started to introduce the melody. So theme 3, 4, and 5 will keep developing. We'll be adding more to our playing to make it more interesting. And we're going to be covering those themes in part 2 of the video lesson. So that's going to be at rockclass101.com. You can also get the complete tabs to print off and follow along with, and access to that on-screen tab viewer, which is a super cool asset and very handy for learning this song that much quicker and easier. So I hope you guys enjoyed this lesson, and I will see you in part 2 at rockclass101.com. Thanks.